Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dork Points. Tonight, we will be talking about a bunch of PS Extra games, the big games that I have recently checked out, starting with Devil May Cry 5. Yes, I liked the second one. That was a beautiful game. The first one was kind of frustrating. Both of them had tank controls, however, so those were different days. This is pretty fun, I have to say. I had so much trouble with the first game; it was very hard for me, to be honest. And then the second one, it's this. I don't know, was that PS2 days or PS1 days? I can't remember, but the second one I got some traction in. I was able to do some stuff, and I got fairly far in it, and I loved the look of it. But finally, these games, well, I don't know when they ditched tank controls. It's probably the second one, because that stuff's old school. But it's pretty satisfying. I didn't mind the story. It's stupid but fun. It's like chocolate and candy in your mouth. All right, moving on to Back for Blood. Speaking of candy, this is basically the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. I am kind of enjoying it. There is a solo campaign. I thought it was all online, but there's a solo campaign you can do with AI. Which is kind of fun. I played it with a couple of my friends, and I don't know if they dug it or not, but they just kind of stopped playing it. The areas, I have to say, are a little confusing, like figuring out where to go from here. Yeah, that took me so many tries to figure out where to go. Oh, what the hell was that? But yeah, it's just good, shootery, brainless, zombie fun. If you like the Left 4 Dead franchise, you get the 4-player online, or you can just do it by yourself. It's cool. Alright, moving on to Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now, unfortunately, this is the one in the bunch, and like I've said before, there's always one. I really loved Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I did not play the previous one. I heard it's meh, or okay. This just doesn't feel like the same game. It doesn't play like the same game. It's like they pushed it out, or they lost a bunch of devs. I don't know what happened with this game, but it feels incomplete. It just doesn't have the same fun to it. Also, they throw a million missions at you at once. Like, from the start of the game, it's like, well, where do I go? How do I move the story forward? It's very confusing. All right, moving on to Minute. Minute is a really interesting game on PS Extra, like I said. It's basically Zelda, but with 1 minute to live. So you get to your little shack there, and that is a save point, technically, but every minute you die, and then you respawn at your home location. And there are a bunch of, you can find new home locations throughout the map to make it easier to go and do certain things in these fortresses or temples. But it's Zelda, but you're alive for 1 minute. And so it's like a puzzle because of that. Because you have to really think about like where you're going and what you need to do. And sometimes it's just blind discovery. There's the clock ticking down because I'm about to die. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So yeah, I stumbled through most of this game, but I really enjoyed the amount I played. But then, of course, like a lot of these games, you get to a point where you just quite don't know what to do. No one's pointing you in the right direction. No one's telling you exactly what you need to get done. All right, moving on to Evil Genius 2 World Domination. Now, earlier in a video, I mentioned, what was it called? Dungeons 2. And I mentioned that the dungeon construction, or creating your own cave, your man cave, whatever it is in Dungeons 2, is much easier and much more self-explanatory than Evil Genius 2. I did enjoy this game. I love the whole idea of it, but there are so many times where I was trying to press a button to get something done, but instead of pressing X to move something forward, I have to press square and then circle and X. It's completely counterintuitive and confusing. It is extremely hard to get anything done. Like, just to get this room done took me 30 minutes of sitting here and pressing buttons and trying to figure out which button would actually activate the process. Ugh. Alright, Soma. Soma is on Extra, but actually it is gone now. This one left just before Halloween last year. That's ironic, because it's a horror game. But, yeah, it was on there, and I don't know, I liked it. It's a horror game where you have to kind of sneak and get around monsters and go through confusing places. And it has a cool Bioshocky feel to it sometimes, because it's all underwater. So I really did dig that. But this is a game, just like Vanishing of Ethan Carter, where it basically requires you to use a walkthrough, or at least look certain things up, and that is a shame, because I really enjoyed, I'd say, the first 2 hours of this game, and it's maybe only 6 or 8 hours long, but all of a sudden it's just walkthrough. You can't figure anything out. It gets so hard. Alright, and now Death Stranding, of course, on PS Extra. If you have not played it, please play it. I'm not going to show you any gameplay here. I'm just going to show you how pretty this looks. And this is on PS4, by the way. But the thing about this game is it's such a turnoff. Like, the idea of the game itself is such a total turnoff to me. The idea that you're just delivering cargo on your back, and you're going from place to place and map to map, and then there's this surreal sub-story that isn't... I'm not saying it doesn't have the payoff. It has a payoff, but you know that it's Kojima, so things aren't always clear as to what is actually happening. But the gameplay itself, going from city to city with just a bunch of crap on your back, becomes very addictive. And I presume everybody knows that out there. If you can get through, I would say, the first 2 hours of the game, it becomes very enjoyable, very addictive, and very fun to play. You just need to get through that first couple hours so that you understand how to balance yourself, where to go and where not to go. And also, I'm playing the game later than most people have played it. So the game updates the map with all these cool things that people left in the map to help you get through the map. And it's really cool, and it really helps. Alright, there you go. Try it out. I recommend it. Alright, Chorus. Here we go. Now, I think I've done 2 or 3 videos on this damn game now. Chorus, I played the demo, and I know that for sure is the first video I made about Chorus. And I was led astray, because the demo made it seem like Star Wars Rogue Squadron, and it is not that at all. That demo is trash. I don't know what the game makers were thinking, or the company that put out that demo, because it totally misleads you, making you think it's Rogue Squadron. It is not. It is Grand Theft Space Shooter. It's an open world space shooter, and you go from mission to mission. And this mission in particular almost broke me. Poor Chris and Odie and Jake were on, and I played this mission 5 times, and this is on easy. And there are certain missions in this game that just break you, and it's odd. It has a look and a feel to it almost Kojima-like, too. Really good look, really good feel, but there are points of this game that will just break you. However, the story, which appears to be a bunch of shit at the beginning, pardon my French, actually turns out to be pretty solid. And I really enjoyed playing through this game, and those big wins did matter. Thank you. Alright, Deliver Us the Moon, I think. Chris recommended this to me, and yeah, it's, I don't know if you call it another walking simulator game, but you are a man who is sent to a space station just above the moon, where they use, on the moon, they use, helium-3, and they send it back to the Earth to power the Earth, because the Earth was going through an energy crisis. So then all of a sudden, all contact stops from the moon. It's all shut off, and no energy is coming down to the Earth. So the Earth is basically in dire need. So they have enough resources to send one man up, and so they do, and that's you. And you are exploring the space station and doing all these very frightening, like that, and dire spacewalks, and then eventually you get to the moon, and it's intense. It's hard. There are a lot of timing elements, as you can see the ticker on the lower right-hand corner ticking down. There are a lot of timing elements that make this game difficult. However, if you do just relax yourself and think about it logically, most of this game is fairly easy to get through. And actually, it only required a couple of lookups. 3 or 4, I'd say. 3 or 4 things in this whole game I had to look up to figure out how to play. Compared to most of the games like this is pretty good. It's... yeah, I liked it. And I liked the story, too. Everything turned out to be pretty cool about this one. I liked it. Alright, and the final game of the night, and the big obvious one, and of course the one I am just starting to play, so of course you're seeing the tutorial. I feel like I'm saying that wrong all the time. Yeah, I just started playing this, Horizon Forbidden West. Of course, yes, this is on PS Extra. Of course you should play it. It's great. It's intimidating for me, I have to say, because I know how big the first game was. And so every night I kind of dip my toe in, and then I go, maybe I should play something else, something brainless, something stupid. But look at it. It just looks good. It's gonna be great. Horizon Forbidden West. I like this idea of the corruption of the plants too. It adds an urgency to this game that the second one didn't have, or the first one, excuse me, didn't have. It was more exploratory. There's an urgency here to solve this problem, but I know it's gonna be a big game, so yeah, I'll be dipping my toe for a while. I'll probably make a full video about how great this is, but there you go. That's all the games on PS Extra that I have started up or played. I played most of them. I just started up Horizon, but those are all the ones I played recently, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Check them out if you haven't yet. Goodbye bye.